When the Atlanta Hawks traded DeJounte Murray for the likes of Dyson Daniels and others, I'm not sure even they knew what they were getting. I mean, sure, Daniels obviously had potential, and that was the case when he was selected 8th overall back during the 2022 NBA draft by the New Orleans Pelicans. And while things didn't ultimately pan out the way many thought they would while with the Pels, Daniels would begin displaying from day one that he could be worth every bit of the initial investment New Orleans made in taking him through his play on the less glamorous end of the floor. He was indeed raw offensively speaking though, as he would put up averages of 3.8 points, 3.2 rebounds, and 2.3 assists in little over 17.7 minutes per game, while shooting an underwhelming 41.8% from the field, including an icy 31.4% from 3-point range, albeit on extremely low volume. I mean, we're talking just 1.5 3-point attempts per game and just over 3.5 field goal attempts overall. He just did not get many opportunities on that end in year one. And for a 19-year-old rookie, that's not the end of the world, nor was it truly illuminating, especially considering the work he was putting in on the defensive side of the ball, where he graded very highly in numerous metrics and categories. Perhaps the most telling of all being his work as a perimeter defender. In his inaugural season, he placed within the 83rd percentile as a perimeter isolation defender, the 98th percentile in ball screen navigation, the 90th percentile in pickpocket rating, and the 82nd percentile in passing lane defense. And then Daniels took a small step forward in year two, putting up 5.8 points, 3.9 rebounds, and 2.7 assists while knocking down 44.7% of his shots. He still wasn't converting on his perimeter shot with any semblance of efficiency, but he was definitely improving slowly but surely. Of course, it did help that he was playing more too. About 5 minutes more per game to be exact. These increased opportunities gave him more of a chance to show what he was capable of, and where he really began to shine brightly was on the defensive end. He was even better on the perimeter, where he ranked even higher in some of the most relevant metrics. Perimeter isolation defense, 95th percentile. Ball screen navigation, 95th percentile as well. Pickpocket rating, the 95th percentile. And last but not least, he placed within the 96th percentile in passing lane defense. And it's those last two that really began to pop off the screen. Daniels went from a still pretty good 0.7 steals per game, which was 8th among rookies, to 1.4 per contest, which was 12th in the entire NBA. He was one of the most dangerous pickpockets in the league. He seemed to have an almost preternatural sense of where the ball would be moving to. Not only was he opportunistic, but he was displaying high-level anticipatory skills in this regard as well. He was adept at fighting through screens and jumping into the passing lane to kickstart transition opportunities for New Orleans. And these are skills that are so very valuable in the modern NBA, where more possessions are almost always a great thing. It was becoming increasingly clear that Daniels could in fact be an impact player given a solid allotment of minutes. The problem was, the Pels really wanted a star guard to pair with Zion and others. Someone who may have fit the timeline a bit more and wouldn't need as much time to develop offensively. And while Daniels being moved for the more established star and Murray made sense at the time, it's pretty obvious who has come out the winner since. And I think Atlanta was pretty stoked to get back a potential impact player in Daniels, but even they didn't see what would come next. And what would happen next is nothing short of one of the bigger surprises of the 2024-25 campaign. That being Daniels' ascension on both ends of the court. He would quickly morph into the most dangerous thief in the NBA, and has quickly begun living up to his nickname, the Great Barrier Thief. An obvious wordplay on his country of origin, Australia. And it's no joke, Daniels is committing theft of which the likes we haven't seen since guys like Alvin Robertson, John Stockton, and Nate McMillan were playing. In fact, the last time anyone averaged as many steals per game as Dyson was during the 1993-94 season, over 30 years ago. This young man is doing something we haven't seen in 30 plus years. Insanity, I say. As of recording this, the 22-year-old has 222 total steals on this season, which is just outside of the top 25 for most in any singular season in NBA history, and at his current rate of exactly 3 per game, he will likely break into the top 15. He's technically got 4 games left to do so, and with Atlanta locked into play-in territory, meaning they can finish no worse than the 10th seed, you can bet that he'll be out there until the season wraps. He already has 3 or more steals in 43 out of his 73 total games this year. He's basically a lock to swipe the ball away a few times a game. Daniels has been exceptional at the point of attack and has always taken on the toughest perimeter assignment. And according to B-Ball Index, he places within the 100th percentile in matchup difficulty. And much like previous seasons, it's come as an isolation defender where he is also placing within an astounding 100th percentile there. He literally ranks second out of the 561 qualified players in this category. And the pickpocket and passing lane categories are even better than they were last year. 97th in terms of the former and in the 99th in the latter. Where he's been most effective more often than not has been in those passing lanes, where he has racked up a staggering 427 total deflections, which also leads the league. That is 172 more than the next closest player, which as of recording this is Keon Ellis, who has 255. Moral of the story, be very careful when passing the ball in his direction, because he is deflecting it 5.8 times per contest. He will intercept it like a DB and get it to his teammates. It's just a foregone conclusion at this point, and part of what has made this Hawks team an unpredictable matchup at times. Daniels has taken an even larger leap on the offensive end, where he has averaged almost 3 times as many points as last season. He is now putting up 14.2 points, 5.8 rebounds, and 4.3 assists, while completing an efficient 49.4% of his field goal attempts, including 34.9% from 3-point range, all of which are career highs. He's playing by far the most minutes of his short career at 33.9 per contest, and making the absolute most of his opportunities this season. And while it's been nice to see him improve as a perimeter shooter, the bulk of his production still comes from inside the paint and restricted area, where he's been a quality finisher. He's currently within the 70th percentile per cleaning the glass in shots at the rim. He's playing the bulk of his minutes this year at the 2, 79% to be exact, but he's still very much involved as a creator. This is an area in which he grades very highly in. He's currently within the 85th percentile in playmaking talent, the 87th in passing creation volume, the 85th in passing creation quality, and in the 77th in passing efficiency. He's pretty effective as a pick and roll ball handler as well, often finding the roll man or other wings as they are cutting to the basket. He's solid in the drive and kick game as well. Daniels actually has 72 total assists off of drives this season. I say all this to say that Daniels can hurt you as a facilitator too. He's been quite valuable as a rebounder as well. Those 5.8 boards per contest are 13th among guards this season, and he grades highly in that area, and better than that, it's on both sides of the glass, both offensive and defensive. Take a look at his ranks here. Overall, this has not only led to Daniels getting much needed attention as it relates to the Most Improved Player award, an area in which he's likely to be a finalist, but the Defensive Player of the Year award as well. He is very likely to make first team all defense too. Again, I think Atlanta was delighted to be able to get a prospect with a ton of potential in Dyson in the DeJounte Murray trade, but I don't think they even knew what they were in store for, and as a fan of basketball in general, how can you not love what he's doing? Well, that'll do it for this one, folks. How do you feel about this season that Dyson Daniels has had? Let me know in the comments below. Stay positive.